Hi everyone, I've just cut my own hair and I think this side's shorter than the other. Oh, it really is. Any of you who are into your bags may have noticed that over the last year in particular, the prices of these bags has weirdly have gone higher than I feel in any other year previous. And I was trying to kind of understand why that could be, because, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic and surely the worst possible time to put prices up would be in a time like now where there's so much uncertainty and so much unemployment. And as to why they've done it, a lot of us have been speculating on here about why that might be. Maybe these places are trying to recoup costs and they know that actually when it comes to luxury, there's still, you know, there's still money to be spent out there. And as I think some of you saw from when lockdowns ended in China back last year, there were queues around the block for Hermes and they just made some bumper sales that day or that week, I can't recall. So maybe that's a reason why, but one brand in particular that I wanted to discuss is Saint Laurent, because I still think that is one of the best brands out there that is currently, you can buy the majority of their bags for well under £2,000. But I've noticed that it's changing, and the first time I noticed it was in January this year when I did a video showing you, can't remember what it was, it was a Saint Laurent bag anyway, and when I'd looked at it last year, I noticed that it had jumped up in price by about, I think, £200 or £300. And I actually did a double take because I thought, when I looked at that last year, it was not that price. As I talk, I've purchased some things from Louisa v Aroma and I've left tags on everything, because what I always do with this stuff is I try it on in video and very often I can decide whether I really like it or not. They seem to be doing quite a lot of coupon codes at the moment, customer coupon codes. And at first I got one on an email saying it was 10% off. And then I went on the website on one occasion and it said 15. Then it said 20%. And if I can just show you here, because I was blown away. So I think it was yesterday, happened to be on the site and it popped up and it said that there was a random 20% off. And if you can see in that black box at the bottom, it says click here to view eligible items. And when I clicked on it, it was things that you would never normally get a discount on. I'm going to link to everything below, but I'm also going to put below the coupon code that I used that worked on all of this. I will say for any of you who are going to try it, Louisa v Aroma seem to have lots of codes out at the same time. And you might get a 10% off code that works on Saint Laurent. You'll then get a 15% off code that doesn't. You'll get another 10% off code floating around that doesn't work on Saint Laurent, but that other one does. So what I would always say, I'm going to list out all of the codes below that are currently written on the site today, because honestly, when I went on there, they're not written on the site, you have to loiter. If you loiter on the site, these are like a pop-up box comes up and it says, just for the next hour, there's money off. This is the bag in question, and this is going to be a good example of exactly what it is that I'm talking about here with prices. The thing with Saint Laurent bags is, for any of you who have owned them, I think you're going to know what I mean. The quality of them is exquisite. The quality of the leather, the stitching, the hardware. One thing I've said before is that with gold hardware in particular, with other brands that I've had, if I get it with gold hardware, I look at it and I think, yeah, that looks really nice, but give it a while and then it's all gonna rub off and go kind of silver toned around the edges. With Saint Laurent bags that I've got that have got gold hardware that I've used a lot, that has actually never happened to any of them. So I've always said, and I wish I never said it now because it's happening, not that it's because of me, but I always said that I never understood why these bags are the prices that they are, because they're really well priced. So this was about £1,600 before the discount. I'm going to tell you the before and after prices. I actually bought quite a few items of clothing, which I'll go through as well. So this top was £145, but after the 20% off, it was 116. Then I saw this other top, which I thought, I might be running a risk with this because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. And it turned up and I really like it. And I want to say, for any of you who are thinking about this, unless size down if you want it to be slightly more fitted, because actually I sized down on this and I really like the fit of this. And I think if I'd actually got, I think it runs large is what I'm saying. I really like the look of this. It's really comfortable, and I actually really like the idea of being able to wear this as things warm up. But you know, in spring there's still that chill in the air, but you get to that point in later spring where you don't need a coat or a jacket, but you still want, you know, something warm. I really like this. This actually comes in black, grey and sort of a browny colour, and this is wool, and this was £166, but after the 20% it was 132. Do you see what I mean about these discounts? Then there was another white top, and I saw it together with this one, and this was the other one was, this was £115, but after the discount it was £92. So as I say, what I always do is you know, I purchase the things, and then it's always after I've seen it on camera that I decide whether I actually like it or not. One other thing as well, before I go off on talking about the bags, I also purchased this, which is a blazer jacket from Vivienne Westwood. And this style has probably been around for the last 10 years, and I thought, because this was included in the 20%, I thought I'm gonna get it, try it on. If I don't like it, send it back. If I do like it, I've saved 20%. So this was 800, but it's actually £640. The quality of that's really good, actually. It's kind of, the quality of that is what you would expect it to be from Vivienne Westwood for that price. And one thing I like about it is that when I'm casual, I struggle to, so for my day job, not so much working from home now, but I always dress quite formally, and I always really struggle on weekends, because on the weekends I end up going back to those sort of more blazer jackets. It's just that I'll put them on with jeans, and I really want to be able to move away from that and wear outfits that are a lot more casual. And what I like about this is that because it's kind of crazy and all ruched up in different areas, it's still the blazer jacket, but it's definitely not work. This, after the 20%, this was £1,605, but it was actually £1,284. This you can get in 2 sizes. There is a smaller size, which I really did contemplate actually, but when I measured it and sort of drew it out on a piece of paper, I thought I've got quite a few bags that are that sort of size, and I like the size of this. Just needing to cut in here very quickly. I hope you like my new microphone, by the way. I think this is a lot clearer than previous voiceovers. A couple of things I wanted to mention that I completely forgot about is that these boots and the jeans I also bought with that 20% off. And the jeans I like so much, I've actually ordered another pair in the same size. If you're going to get them, I'm 5'7", 5'8", and as you can see, they're a bit long on me. So I think if you're going to get them, unless you're super tall, you probably need them taken up slightly. The boots, these have got, I think, either an 80 or an 85mm heel, maybe even less. And I've been wearing them quite a lot recently because they're quite comfortable, and they're not, you don't feel that you're kind of compromised when you're just going out of the house to kind of not do too much at the moment. And finally, I think I said it at the beginning of this, but the coupon codes have got nothing to do with me or this video. They are customer coupon codes that anyone can access, and I cannot guarantee that any of them are going to work at the time of this video. Going back to the bags anyway, for the last, I would say 3 years, I've noticed that the Saint Laurent bags, they might have increased in price year on year, but it's been very small. In the last year, I was really shocked by how much they'd risen by. And they're still at a point, and I don't know whether this is going to change, but they are still a brand that you can get a discount on. You know, there are other brands that just say no. So for example, I know with Fendi and Gucci, legally, any retailers that stock them, they are not allowed to be included in promotional coupons. I'm not talking about end of season sales, but you know, those random promotional 10% off. Legally, those two brands don't want to be included. Saint Laurent is still one brand that actually works with. Now, every Saint Laurent bag, by the way, I've bought with a discount, because it's one of those brands you can do it with. But I wanted to discuss this because for any of you who are wanting to add to your collection, start a collection, or you've always been curious about this brand, I really think that they have suddenly accelerated their price rise. And if you're thinking about it, as much as they are now, I know a lot of us say this with Chanel, as much as these bags are now, they're only going to be more in the future. The only direction is going to be upwards. So to give you an example, this college bag, I had seen this originally back in 2017, and it was a decision that I made between this and a Chanel bag, which was a satchel bag. It very, very, very similar. In fact, I'll show you it. This is in a really nice kind of mauvey colour. The reason why I went for this is at the time, this was around about £1,000. And I'd seen this was 2,400. Can you imagine getting a Chanel bag this big for 2,400 these days? It's just not happening. And when I saw this, I thought, for £1,200 more, I'm buying Chanel. And when it does come to all of these brands, I do think Chanel is one of those brands that it can make you money. Honestly, it can make you money. Saint Laurent, it's slightly different. It's one of those brands that for sure, if you buy it and you leave it long enough and you sell it, it will at least bring you back what you paid, depending on how much it's gone up by. But it's not the sure thing that Chanel is. So that's the reason why I skipped this bag at the time. I ended up buying this at the end of 2020 because there was a 10% off on it. And this at the time was £1,500. I'm talking about November 2020. It's currently the end of February, beginning of March, and this bag in this size is £1,700. And I can tell you that I looked at this bag in January, early January. So the price rise obviously happened probably the first day back in 2021. That price rise is £300 significant. As one of those brands that a lot of us look at and think you get a hell of a lot of bag for your money, I just wanted to draw to your attention what is actually going on with the prices of these, and the fact that if you take this brand, if you have a look at Louis Vuitton or Gucci, you can, from them, probably more Gucci than Louis Vuitton, although I'm not even sure off the top of my head, you can get quite a bit of bag for under 2,000 with those brands. But we're talking about canvas, that kind of wax covered canvassy material. This is all leather and it's way under the 2,000. So if you've ever been thinking about it and you want to buy new, I do think that it's worth maybe thinking about it sooner. If it's something that you know you want to add to your collection and you know that they're at that price that's kind of stomachable, but now they're starting to go up. Another fantastic example is this. This is the Mini Lulu. I purchased this back in, I think this might have been 2018. And at the time, this bag was I think it was 880 or maybe 830 pounds. And this I bought on Louisa Via Roma. And this also was one of those occasions, I do believe it was around about the time of Cyber Weekend, and they had a 30% off. And I went on the site and it worked on this. I had this in my shopping cart, but I was umming and ahhing over it, and the 30% worked. And I remember thinking, this is like one of those one-of-a-kind things. You know, you can always get 10% off, but to get 30% off. I thought about it, and I remember getting to a point where that 30% off didn't work for a couple of days. And then I went back on again, and the 30% worked, so I decided to purchase it. So let's say it was £830. For argument's sake, let's call it 850. I feel like I paid about £500 for this. Yeah, £595 possibly actually less, because I do think this was nearer to 800 than 850. But to get this bag in full leather, if I show you the inside of Saint Laurent bags are also really thought out and really good quality. So this actually has kind of 3 sections. The section in the middle, you could keep cards or papers in. Then it's got zip section, open section there, and a larger section at the front. It's quite deceptive, this bag, because you would look at it and think that it doesn't fit much, but actually it fits an awful lot, and it's sort of, in a way, it stretches outwards so you can get quite a lot in it. I haven't got a red bag. When I saw this and when it was included, the discount, I was like, I am gonna definitely try it. What's the worst that can happen? If I don't like it, I will return it. So the way this bag functions is it opens up like that and it opens out. On the inside, I haven't seen the inside. The inside looks like that. So it's got a zip section there. I like the attention to detail they go to. If you even look at the snap closure, they've put the logo on there. All of the Saint Laurent bags come with authenticity papers and cards, which, do you know something? When I was starting my collection, I don't know how many of you feel the same, but for me, the packaging, the dust bag, the paperwork, that for me was as exciting as the actual bag. That for me is what makes a designer bag different to a non-designer bag. It's all of those extras that you get with it.